Happy Sunday, kids! Ako si Ate Chiki at ako makasama ninyo ng Sunday School. Kids, gusto niyo ba kayo ng mga magandang kwento? Pero bago yun, tayo muna inuman. Kids, tayo ay inubat na lang. Wala namin Diyos, pinupuli ka namin at salamatan ngayon araw na ito. Papasalamat mo po kami sa buhay at kalakaran na patuloy na pinagkakalaog sa bawat isa sa amin. Panginoon, sana po ay maunawaan ng mga bata ito ang mga mensahe na kasalanan sa kanila. Pinigayan niyo po ang mahal ng mga magulang na patuloy na sumusuporta sa kanila. Mai-upload po sana ng mga bata ito ang mensahe na gusto mo iparating sa kanila at sa kanilang pagtanda. Kayo po ang mensahe ng aming buhay. Ang sabot na namin sa Panginoon Jesus. Kids, di ba sabi na kanina ay gusto nyo makarinig ng kanilang kwento? O eto ang kwento ni Moises at kung paano hinati ang dagat. Makinig kayo dahil mamaya ay may inaanda akong tanong para sa inyo. Harap na!
God's people left Egypt. They marched out into the desert. God did something very special to help them. He sent a tall cloud to guide them during the day. It was very dark in the desert at night, so God changed the cloud to fire. It was like a giant nightlight. Now God's people could travel, some during the day and some at night. Back in Egypt, Pharaoh had changed his mind about letting God's people leave. He sent his army after the Israelites to bring them back. Closer and closer, the army of horses and chariots came. God's people stood right by the Red Sea. There was no way across the water. Pharaoh's soldiers were behind them, and the sea was in front of them. It looked as if they were trapped. Just then, God moved the tall cloud behind his people to hide them from the enemy. The Egyptians couldn't see anything. The cloud made it dark for them, but it gave light to God's people on the other side of the cloud. Then Moses raised his hand over the sea. All night, God pushed back the sea with a strong wind, and the water split to make a dry path to the other side. The Israelites safely reached the other side, but when the Egyptian army tried to use the same path, the water came back together and covered the soldiers. And that was the end of Pharaoh's army.
Kids, ang aral na ating mapapagpunan sa ating kwento ay tayo ay sumunod sa Kanya na hindi nagdadalawang isip. At tayo ay maniwala at magtiwala sa Kanya ng walang pag-aalinlangan dahil ang ating Diyos lang ang nakakaalam ng ating mga ikabubuti. Kay kids, para sa ating verse of the week ay matatagpuan ito sa Exodus chapter 14 verses 19 to 20 and said, "And the angel of God which went before the camp of Israel removed and went behind them. And the pillar of the cloud went before their face and stood behind them. And it came between the camp of Egyptians and the camp of Israel. And it was a cloud and a darkness to them, but it gave light by night to these so that the one came not near the other all the time. At sa Tagalog, at ang anghel ng Diyos na nasa unahan ng kampamento ng Israel ay humiwalay at napasahulihan nila. At ang haliging ulap ay humihiwalay sa harap nila at lumagay sa likod nila. At lumagay sa pagitan ng kampamento ng Ehipto at ang kampamento ng Israel. At mayroong ulap at kadiliman. Gayon may binigyan sila ng liwanag sa gabi at ang isa't isa ay hindi nagkalapit sa buong magdamag. Kikits